Glasses.
Hi everyone, this is Jacqueline from She Writes Studios, and welcome to this heartwarming Light the Torch ceremony as we celebrate the release of Sarah, the Purple Cowboy Princess by the talented Francine Hatley. Hi Francine, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hi.
Awesome. Well, can you tell us? We'll just go ahead and jump right into this. Can you tell us who Sarah is and what inspired you to create her story as the Purple Cowboy Princess?
Well, Sarah actually is one of my sister's really good friends, and she's a graphic design artist. And she was living in, I believe, downtown Seattle, and hated the traffic and the noise. And she had a husband and a small child, and they just really wanted to leave at the hustle and bustle. And so they actually bought like a dude ranch and moved. And my sister wanted me to create a poem to give to
Mm,
her about her story. And that's what I did. And I thought it would make a really cute children's book. So
yeah.
my oldest son's really good friend, Austin Baker, years ago did the first draft with the illustrations. And then when I decided to actually publish it, he and his wife, Lindsay, redid the illustrations so that we could release it as a children's book.
Wonderful. Well, why purple? What does the color purple and the cowboy theme symbolizes for you?
Um, well, really, the color purple was my sister's friend's favorite color,
Okay.
and she grew up like always around I don't know if she grew up on a farm or on a ranch, but she basically always liked to wear cowboy boots, and she kind of identified more like a rancher or a cowboy, and so it just kind of all fit. But to me, because I'd met her on a number of occasions,
Mm,
she was to me, she came across as like this person, like she could bring people together. She was a good communicator. She did like, being around a lot of people and kind of being like in the center of, I wouldn't say the center of attention, but you know what I mean? Those kind of people that are charismatic and they're a
yeah.
lot of fun to be around. And so I thought, well, that's kind of like a princess. So I just kind of put the two together because I'm like, well, this kind of just in a good way, this describes her. She's just this very charismatic, just kind of fun type of person. So I thought it just really fit.
It actually is, the title alone is already interesting. So I'm wondering, what was the writing process for you like? Because this is not your story, unlike most, authors, their stories are based on their own, but this is not based on your story. This is based on somebody else's story. So was it a smooth ride? Did you have to do a little bit more research, or
I
how was
I
it
did a
overall?
few drafts, and what I did is because I like I said I'd met her on a few occasions, so I did kind of know her, but I had my sister ask her questions and write down
Mm,
the answers. That way, I could kind of take that and formulate it into the story. So I kind of sneakily had my sister ask her these questions that could help shape the story. And I actually do that. I've done that on a number of occasions for invitations and announcements for people's special occasions, where
yeah,
I'll take their story and I will weave it into a poem and create this story around their event.
that's
So
wonderful.
I love doing that. Um, but
That's
yeah, it was definitely several drafts before I felt like I got it right. So yeah.
but that's a very interesting technique in writing, because again, this is not based on your own personal story. Now the book is a blend of uh sparkle, strength, and the southern charm. How do you balance those elements in this story?
Well, I think really what we're trying to show is that this this woman who's frazzled by the city life and just feeling like it's not working for her wants to go
Mm,
back to her roots, right? We don't know that that's where she came from, but we do see that she, really identifies with that once she gets to that ranch. And so this is really going back to her roots of, a simpler way of life, quieter way of life, something that involves the whole family. And this really does speak to kind of that Southern way of living, where a lot of people say that, it's a slower pace, and the whole family is involved. And so I knew that that's where she was leaning towards through the
Mm-hmm.
questions that I had my sister ask. Was kind of where her heart, leaned, was to a simpler time, to that Southern hospitality. Let's bring people to my place, right, to spend time, and I'll show them how to relax, kind of thing. So, yeah. So I don't know that it was necessarily blending. It was more like moving away from and into that position of, we can relax now. We're out in the country, right?
You mentioned earlier, getting it, having or starting over, like a fresh start. How do you think this book resonates to those who are seeking or is thinking about, moving out from wherever they are, uh, and just stepping into and jumping into a fresh start?
Well, I think it shows them that it is possible. My husband and I kind of did that too about 5 years ago, right when
Mhm.
COVID was locking everything down. We
Right.
took the leap of faith to sell our house that was more in the city area. Granted, it was a smaller city, not as big as Seattle, but there was a lot of hustle and bustle. We lived on a busy street, and we had always dreamed of moving out to a larger piece of property. And so we took a leap of faith and we did that. And so we now live in a much quieter neighborhood.
Mm.
Each house in the neighborhood is on at least an acre, if not more. And so, the first thing I did was look at how I can have a big garden to be more self sustaining. We now have 10 chickens. I never thought in my life I would own chickens, and I have 10 chickens. Two of them are roosters. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was a leap of faith. I did worry about it, but sometimes you have to just close your eyes and step off that precipice and trust that you're going to land okay. And, there's a lot going on in our world right now. There's a lot of change happening. And I hope that this helps people understand that it's going to be okay. Change is okay.
That's true. That's true. Now, if there's one message that your readers can take away from Sarah's story, what would that message be, or what would you like it to be?
I think that family is most important, because
Hmm.
ultimately that was Sarah's goal, was moving someplace where she could spend more family time. In the
Hmm.
city with her stressful job, she was watching her kids grow up and not having that time with them. And so moving allowed her to step back and take some breaths and spend more time with her family and get her family involved. So now they're really becoming a close knit, family, because they've decided to do that, to make family a priority.
That's wonderful, and I believe a lot of people will be able to relate to that. Making that decision of what is my priority, seeing my children, being with my children growing up, or building my career and being stressed out and all of that.
Right.
Um, so this is a wonderful book. I'm sure a lot of people will be able to relate to it and enjoy it at the same time. Now, what is next for you as an author? Do you have future projects? Are you writing another book? Will there be a next one? Will this
There
be a series?
actually, yeah. So my next book that She Rises Studios is publishing will be coming out sometime in October. It's called Henry and James Go Fishing, and this is a story I wrote about 15 years ago, and it's based on my oldest son who was on the spectrum,
Mm,
and how for him the way he would get through his day when things would overwhelm him is he would use his imagination to help explain the world around him. He's got this enormous imagination. He himself writes. He loves to write. He hasn't really
Oh,
found a way to finish a project, and he's interested in publishing, but it's, he's getting there. But he would be able to get through his day by creating the world around him to explain what was going on. And ultimately, that's what Henry does in the story. He's got some ups and some downs, and he then uses his imagination to create his world to help explain what's going on around him, to help him get through his day.
well, that is another great book that we surely will be waiting for the release. But for now, where can people buy your book? And how can they reach out to you if they wanted to?
So they can purchase Sarah the Purple Cowboy Princess on Amazon. It is available right now as an ebook. And then on the 29th, it comes out as a paperback. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations. Well, do you have any last words, final messages for your listeners and your readers?
Oh, just go buy the book. Go buy the book. Enjoy it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, this has been so much fun, and I'm sure the book is just as fun, if not more. And I'm, very inspiring. It will be very inspiring too. Thank you so much, Francine, for reminding us that sometimes the best way to find true joy is to trade a busy life for an intentional and more calm and have a greater connection. Sarah
Absolutely.
the Purple, yeah, Sarah the Purple Cowboy Princess is now available on ebook in ebook format on Amazon. So for all the listeners out there, please go grab your copy. Don't forget to leave a review. I'm sure you will enjoy this. Read it with with your entire family. And here's to choosing peace, purple books, and the kind of life that you don't need a vacation from. Hey, thank you so much, Francine. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
You too.